Hey friends, Kate Champion here, doing a quick pop-up pod today. I have just done a little bit of a speech and I actually wanted to share it with you because I think it's really important. So take a breath and I'm going to just share some things with you. So I really want you to consider that it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Did you know that according to researchers, roughly 60 to 90% of our communication is actually nonverbal? I see it all the time, and we've all been there, right? It's a common dilemma. We see it in our day, in our week, in our year, and over our lifetime for sure. All the ways we have and can say, I'm fine. I know I've done this myself. I see it in my family. I see it in my friends. I see it in my clients. I see it in myself. All the ways I have said those three little words, I am fine. But think about it. All the times we've said those words, heard those words, but maybe on some level we know it's not true. Maybe your mind goes to that teenager that comes home from school and you say, hey, sweetie, how was your day? How are you? And those arms go across the chest and the shoulders meet the ears and there's this grumpy scowl and he says, oh, I'm fine. Can you relate to that? I certainly can. The next thing that comes to mind is that friend that we all have, right? I'm just going to call her Sally Sunshine. We all have a Sally Sunshine. You go out to lunch and she's super chatty and everything's great and it's all wonderful. And then you kind of take a moment and you ask her, how are you? And she's, I'm fine. Big smiley face. But on the surface, yeah, she looks like she's fine. But you know that in the background, behind the scenes, her world is falling apart. And then this is a big one for me. As a therapist, I work a lot with grief and loss. And when you talk about these very difficult, painful, heartfelt events, we're in the middle of recalling what happened, all the details, all the memories, and that person is sitting on the couch and I look into their eyes and I ask them, how are you doing? And sometimes they literally look at me through those tear-filled eyes and their shoulders around it as if they are collapsing inwards, protecting their hearts. And I'm literally seeing into their souls almost, and they're just crushed. And they look at me through those tears and they say, I'm fine. When I can feel that their whole world is crumbling. Why do we do this? So here are some ideas, some things to think about. Number one, often it's protection. Maybe it's safer to say I'm fine than really be vulnerable, showing up and expressing those feelings. And number two, sometimes it's disconnection, right? In this world today, we're so busy, so overwhelmed, so stressed. It's the rush, 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 rush. And we're not connecting. We're not thinking about how we're feeling or how somebody else is really feeling. And you're disconnected from kind of what's happening, what's coming up in the body. And also disconnection avoids connection. So it can also be one of those sneaky little avoidance strategies. And the third one to think about is consideration. So what is that? It's when people, or that people pleaser in us, that part that doesn't want to be a bother, doesn't want to be a burden, or maybe it's the stoic energy that people have it much worse than me. It's that minimizing mentality. These are three powerful whys. So what about you? What about your why? And what will you do next time somebody asks how you're doing? Will you be authentic in your response? Or will you fall into one of these categories? Somebody, William Shakespeare, I think, once said, the eyes are the window to the soul. And as I close today with this little pop-up pod, I would like to propose a question for you. What would it be like if you worked on and began to see our non-verbal communication as a window to our hearts? And remembering and really honoring, please, that when it comes down to it, it is so often what we are not saying that speaks the loudest. Take a breath, kind of remember that, let that sink in, flow through. And again, I thank you, I appreciate you, and I really do hope this was helpful today. Okay, take care. Until next time.